You were talking about it was 20 years that you dealt with some guilt and all of that associated with it, but talk to us a little bit about the downside of not choosing life. What kind of scars, what kind of difficulty are we bearing as individuals involved or families involved in this type of thing? Just give us some insight if you could, please.
Well, I was extremely angry with the people who failed to support me. I was not able to forgive when it would have been appropriate to forgive and would have freed me from that experience. I poured myself into my career with a vengeance because, after all, what had it cost me? But then, because I had that abortion 3 months into meeting my goal of starting a radio career in Minneapolis and St. Paul. I was on the air continuously there for over 30 years. I was like part of the cultural landscape. You just couldn't escape me. But I was 23 years old and just starting out. It was in that launch phase. That's when most women choose abortion, by the way. It's not primarily a poor women's problem. It's not primarily women of color. It's primarily middle-class white women in the launch phase who are choosing abortion to protect their income and to protect their future, and that's what I was doing. I was a poster child for that. So and as I advanced in that career, I had no peace. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. With every bit of success, with every bit of advancement, a guilty conscience would tell me that I didn't deserve it and I shouldn't enjoy it. And I was terrified that people would find out what I had done once I did become a Christian in my late 30s. I had children. I married and had children. That marriage had no chance. Christ was not at the center of it. But I was not healed. I was working out all my issues, trying to within this marriage that was crippled by lack of faith. Abortion, it definitely impacted my parenting. I became very overprotective of my firstborn, and it was very difficult for me to bond with my children when they were young. I didn't trust myself. I knew I had harmed my first child, my child that's in heaven now. And so all of these ways are, and there are many others. I mean, we have in the research a six-fold increase in suicide and suicidal gestures in Finland. And that research is pure because they have national health care and because the women there, there's no stigma and there's no disincentive to report as we have here in America. And Finland has had to address it as a public health crisis. And they haven't been all that successful. There's still, I think, a twofold increase now after all their interventions. So I thank God I didn't, go to that level of despair, but it's absolutely a potential for those who have an abortion experience, one or more.